Baby, you don't know. Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place.
Hey guys, it's Tam, back with another one. This holiday season, I have a special treat for you guys. I'm not only gonna do one video, I'm gonna do two. We're gonna end this year with a bang. But today's video is only me, myself, and I. But my next video that I will be dropping right after this video, I have a special guest, but you gotta stay tuned. I don't have no whole heap of beat today for you. I kind of look a little greasy, so just bypass it. I was a little hot before this video. I was cooking, which is gonna be a part of my segment. Just wait and see. But if you haven't done so, I want you to pause, stop what you're doing, stop watching this video, like, share, and subscribe. And also tell a friend so they could tell a friend so that friend could tell another friend, because you know good stuff spread. Well, let me say this, bad stuff spread, but we need to start letting good stuff spread. But let me stay focused. But today's video is near and dear to me because it's something that I had to personally go through. And it's transitioning from corporate America into entrepreneurship. I have a few tips for you guys that I actually did do, and it did work. I didn't want to ramble today because sometimes I do ramble, I'm human. I didn't want to ramble, so I actually wrote down my 6 topics that I wanted to talk about that I personally did, and anyone that's considering or even having questions about how do they transition from being in corporate America to entrepreneurship, I really think this can help you. Number 1, the first thing I did was cut back on my bills. And you're like, how do I do that? Or how did I do that rather? I did 2 or 3 things. The first thing I did was I cut off my cable. My cable bill was astronomically high. I was paying maybe like a little bit over $200. I decided to cut back on my cable and only keep the internet so I can stream a lot of things that I wanted to watch. I did get Sling TV, which was about $25 at the time. So, and Netflix, everyone know Netflix was about $7, but they did raise it. But at the time, it was like $7 and some change. So to go from paying $200 to watch a whole bunch of channels, or rather have a whole bunch of channels that I probably didn't watch just to say I had cable, that was not needed. So to replace that, I went and got internet only for about, at the time, because this was 2019, I would say it may have been maybe 65, 70 bucks, $7 for Netflix, and $25 for Sling TV. So I cut my bill from $200 in half. So I was paying about $100. That's what I had to do, because remember, when you transition and you don't have a steady paycheck, so you have to make sure that you can still pay your bills, because they're not gonna stop coming just because you're starting a new venture. You still have to live, you still have to do the same things, so you have to make sure that you still have some money. So that's one thing I did, was cut my bills back. The second thing, let me stop there. On the cutting back my bills, I have 2 other subtopics. The next thing I did was I changed my cell phone plan. At the time, I had AT&T and I went to Verizon. Verizon had a new plan that if you sign up with them, because they were trying to get business, they would give you a low premium for the first 2 years and you get a brand new iPhone. And yes, I'm an iPhone user. Shout out to all the iPhones. So I left AT&T, the company that I was with for years, because I was getting a better starter rate, because I needed to lower my bills. So at the time, I think my cell phone bill was maybe like $115, $120, somewhere around there. I went all the way to $65 because I didn't take no high-end phone. It was whatever promotional phone they were giving at the time. And I think at the time, could have been maybe a 7, maybe an 8. I just took it because I needed to lower my bills. And that was part of my plan in lowering my bills, cutting my cell phone bill in half. So in doing so, you get to keep your same phone number, but I just changed carrier because AT&T wasn't giving me the rate that I wanted at the time in Verizon was. And the third thing I did, which is crazy, but it needed to be done, I adjusted my air conditioned temperature to only kick in at 7 p.m. when the home was not as hot. And you're probably saying why. I live in South Florida and everybody know at any given day it's 90 or better. So being an entrepreneur, I know I was gonna be home more because I work from home and I'm not clocking in every day. So I'm hot, but I made that sacrifice. And in doing so, I said to myself, let me just, if it's too hot to open the windows, let me just burn less AC by lowering the temperature at 7 o'clock when the home is not as hot, and I just use my ceiling fan. In doing so, causing me to burn less electricity. So let's just do a recap. Number one, I lowered my bills. How did I do so? I cut my cable off and found something that was comparable, cutting my bill in half. Number two, I changed my cell phone plan. I went from AT&T to Verizon. And the third thing that I did is I adjusted my air conditioned temperature so it does not kick in and get cold like I would prefer it to be until 7 o'clock. So the AC wasn't pulling, because you know the AC pull a lot of electricity, which makes my bill high. So that was the first thing I did. The second thing that I did was I stopped getting my hair done as much. So I resorted to wearing more wigs and more protective style. Like this is a protective style. You know, I like to get my hair dyed. I like to get my hair treated. I like to get my hair trimmed. And after that, I like to get my hair styled. That's quite pricey. So what I did was I started dyeing my own hair. I went to Sally's Beauty Supply. I dyed my own hair. Shout out to Bella Ritz, my friend Dee. She's more than a friend. She's like my sister. I told her, hey, and I dropped the link in the video below. So if you're ever in Texas, you stop by and you go and see them. I said, can you tell me how to dye? Because grays are very disrespectful. So I still wanted to keep my hair looking healthy, but for half the price. So she showed me the stuff that I needed. I went to Sally's, I bought it. I dyed my own hair, and I just wear protective styles, and I did my own treatment. And I wore protective style. I think I'm still wearing protective styles, even though I can afford it now. It became a creature of habits. So I just didn't do my hair as much. And if I wanted to be special, or I'm going on a date, or I want to look cute, I just throw on a wig. So I just kept my wig game up. And I already own wigs. I didn't purchase any new wigs. I just wore them and put them more in my rotation. So that cut because any female know that beauty bill is an expensive bill. You can go to the hair salon and spend $200-300 easy. And then you need to go back within a month. So I cut that in half. So I can't sit down and say how much I did spend or did not spend, but I can tell you it was significantly less. The third thing I did, I stopped eating out. I do not like to cook, but I was a cooking mama jamma. I bought groceries and I cooked my meal and I ate my leftovers. I'm gonna say that again. I do not like to cook, but eating out is a hefty bill. Everybody that knew me knew I was starting this new venture in my life. I was an entrepreneur. So if you want me to go out, you're gonna have to pay my bill because it's not in my budget. What's in my budget is the food that I've cooked and I'm gonna eat in the refrigerator. And good thing for me, I don't lack discipline. So they already know if you're gonna invite Tam, she ain't got no money. And it's not because I couldn't afford it. I had a goal that I was trying to obtain because I'm gonna be honest, I don't wanna clock back in. I like the freedom that I have. I like the opportunity to go when I want to go. And I like the fact that I control how much money I want to make. So if I feel like I want to make this amount of money, I just sit down and come up with a plan. What is it going to take for me to make X amount of dollars in X amount of time? Give and take, things happen, but I don't have to wait for a pay raise. I can give my own self a pay raise. Number 4, I stopped shopping. Even though I own a boutique, shout out again to Blues Beauty Bar. I'm gonna drop the link. Check it out. They got some cute items. And sorry to get off topic, we're gonna start a sale coming this Monday. The video probably dropped after the sale because, you know, you got to edit and stuff. But shout out to Blues Beauty Bar. We're going to have end of year accessory sales, and look out for that. But I stopped shopping. I just wore what I have. Or if I had something in my boutique that I was trying to either mark down to a sale item, I take it. But I don't practice taking from my boutique. I purchase my own stuff from my boutique. Even though I purchase it at cost, I still purchase it because I don't commingle the two businesses. But I just wore what I had, and if I didn't have it, I figured it out. I did what it did. I made it do what it do. I just didn't go shopping. And everybody know that I love shoes. I didn't buy no shoes for 2 years. The fifth thing I did was I lowered my gas. And you know how I lowered my gas? I set my butt at home. If I wasn't going on a showing, or I wasn't going somewhere that I need to go to meet a new client, or marketing because I did a lot of door knocking, or I wasn't going to the office, for me to get in that car or going to the grocery store is somewhere I needed to be. And it was not, I wasn't going anywhere for pleasure. It was strictly business, because I made sure that a full tank of gas lasts me for 2 weeks, and I have an SUV. I'm gonna say it again, a full tank of gas lasted me for 2 whole weeks, and I drive an SUV because gas is a little high, but back then about $45 would fill my tank, and I only had $90 for the month, so I couldn't go over it. And it never happened, but if it did happen that I didn't have any gas, I'm gonna have to sit down, unless it was extremely important for me to go somewhere. I would sit down until it's time for me to pump gas again. And I never used a sun pass. I just did the local roads because it wasn't in my budget. Like I stated, I had to find ways to cut my bills so I can keep my lifestyle being the same while transitioning from corporate America to entrepreneurship. And this was my biggest lesson to this day. Number 6, do not, and I repeat, do not put all your eggs in one basket. And you're probably saying, what do I mean by that? What I did as entrepreneurship, because remember, while I'm waiting on revenue to come in from real estate or my boutique, I would do side hustles. And I had this one particular side hustle, which I'm not gonna put, it was nothing illegal, it was something to do with transportation. They promised to pay me X amount of dollars, and I banked on that. I didn't look for any other side hustle. And one day he told me, I can't pay you this week. I said, no biggie. And he did it to me another time. I said, you know what? He's a what's the word I'm looking for? He's a brand new business as well. So just like I'm learning, maybe he's learning. And he did it to me a third time, and my mortgage was due. When I tell you I cried, and I said that was lesson learned. Whenever you're an entrepreneur, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Spread them out. Make sure you have multiple streams of income. It doesn't have to be something that's hard or something that's going to eat up your time, but make sure you have revenue coming in from over here, revenue coming in from over there, because if you only have one revenue source and you don't have a spouse at home, or you don't have a family member or someone else that's going to pick up the slack, if that person or if that business or if that opportunity does not come through, how are you going to pay your bills? That was my biggest lesson to this day. So I don't put all my eggs in. I always have multiple things going on at multiple times. I may not give all of them 100% because I pretty much give them my time based on what they need or based on what I need them for. But I've learned, I run my own ship. If you're only going to bring me X amount of dollars, well, you're only going to get X amount of my time. And that's not going to be my only venture, because I can't, what happened if that doesn't it doesn't happen? Then I'm not going to have any bills. I'm not going to have any, I'm not going to have any money to pay my bills. That was my biggest lesson. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Now, let me just do a little recap, because I don't want you guys to miss this. Whenever you're transitioning from corporate America into entrepreneurship, these are just little gems that I want to drop on you. Number 1, cut back on your bills. Number 2, Stop doing beauty. If you're a female, stop doing beauty secret. And that applies to men too, because you know guys cut their hair every week. Cut it once a month. Just get a tape for, well, I don't know if it's still $10, but get a tape. Lower your haircut barbershop outing. Number 3, do not eat out. Make sure you eat at home if possible, and make sure you stretch your meals. It may sound crazy, but you got to do what you have to do to get where you're trying to go. Number 4, don't shop. Only purchase what's needed. Number 5, only go where needed. Only go where you need to go. So if you don't have to get in your vehicle and waste gas to go out, don't do it. Do like I do. People start to come to me because, oh, she gonna say she don't have any gas. Okay, you come over and make sure you come after 7, because that's part of cutting back on my bills. My AC don't really drop to 75 or 74 just after 7. Sorry. And last but not least, do not put all your eggs in one basket. I hope you guys were able to get something from this video, because it really, really did help me. It's going on 2022, and I've been an entrepreneur since 2019, and I absolutely love it. With each passing day, it gets easier, it's more rewarding, and I just truly like being my own boss. Even though I have clients, because you know, I'm a realtor and I own an online boutique, I still answer to people, but I don't answer to them in the capacity as if I was clocking in. I don't have to get up at 9 o'clock. I set my own schedule based on what my client needs are. And if I have to get up one day early, guess what? I get up the next day late. If I decide, okay, I'm gonna work hard 6 months straight and then take a week off, I get to decide what I wanna do. And that's the most fulfilling part for me. I get to run my own show. With that being said, I ain't gonna sit here and bore you guys no more. Again, my name is Tam, Talking Smart. If you haven't done so, I want you to look, pause, like, subscribe, and share. Tell a friend, share to a friend so they can tell a friend and the friend can tell a friend. Till we meet again, peace.
Baby, you don't know. Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place.